Late Tuesday afternoon, the White House released the shocking news that President Donald Trump had fired FBI Director James Comey. Joining us to talk about the impact of this decision are Professor Jeremy Levitt of Florida A&M University School of Law and also Barry University School of Law Professor Michael Morley. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Shocking would be, I've heard shocking, stunning, what the heck happened? First of all, was President Trump justified in taking the action that he did? I'll start with you, Professor Levitt.
I think that if you look at it from the context of legal justification, yes. In terms of a political justification, looking at the balance of powers and the crisis that's been created because of this, I think it was a horrible decision, in part because of the timing. He is under investigation by the FBI. Comey is leading that investigation, and so it looks like something is not right when the president takes action against investigators that are looking into his campaign in collusion with the Russians.
Professor Morley?
Legally, the president was on indisputably solid grounds. The Supreme Court has constantly recognized the fact that the president has the power to remove core executive officials. From a prudential perspective, the president really was left with very little choice but to do so. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is within the Department of Justice. The Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, the two highest ranking officials within the Department of Justice, both recommended to the president that they remove Director Comey. The FBI director reports to the Deputy Attorney General, so his direct supervisor, the Justice Department official who oversees the FBI, wrote to the president asking him, saying that the FBI's reputation and credibility have suffered severe damage, that he cannot defend the FBI director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation into Secretary Clinton's emails. So to have both the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General asking the president to remove him, added on top of the fact that Democratic leadership in both the House and the Senate in November and December were calling for Comey's resignation, were calling for Comey to be terminated. Given the bipartisan opposition to Director Comey's continuation in office, the president acted quite reasonably in exercising his discretion.
If I may, though, for me this is not a partisan discussion. It's a discussion about the rule of law in this country. And the reality is the Attorney General recused himself from the investigation. Now, how is it that you can recuse yourself from an investigation and then be a part of the chain of command that removes the head investigator? I think the Attorney General did not serve himself or the president well. What he should have done is very simple. He should have simply said, Mr. President, I have recused myself from this investigation. I render no opinion on this issue, but I forward to you the recommendation of the Deputy Attorney General. He didn't do that. And I think we can talk in partisan terms, but what I'm interested really is in the rule of law and how the balance of powers in this country is now being threatened by this executive action.
Okay, let's move on. Director Comey departed from past FBI directors by his public comments on ongoing investigations. So did he in fact seal his own fate?
I think Director Comey made a critical flaw. I think he has politicized the directorate of the FBI in a way that doesn't serve the country well. And if he should have been fired, it should have been on January 20th when the president came in the office. Rather than firing him, the president threw a party for James Comey and celebrated James Comey. I think that was a critical flaw.
Professor Morley?
Well, this exactly shows that it wasn't based on political terms. The president waited until the Deputy Attorney General, who was responsible for overseeing the FBI, was confirmed, actually took office. Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein didn't even take office until April 25th. So here we're waiting until the person in the Justice Department responsible for overseeing the FBI took office, was able to form his own opinions. Even if you don't think the Attorney General should have taken a position on it, the fact remains the key information, the key recommendation came from the Deputy Attorney General, who echoed the very same concerns we heard from people across the political spectrum.
So you actually believe that in 19 days, the Deputy Attorney General formed an opinion about something that occurred 10 months ago relating to the Hillary Clinton email scandal and decided based on that he was going to fire the director of the FBI, or possibly could it have been that the investigation was moving forward? There were 4 4, not indictments, but what? What did we have yesterday?
Well, I have to say, we are out of time. This discussion is going to continue, and I'm sure we'll hear much more about this. So, but I thank you. We could go on for another hour or so. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time. But Professor Levitt, Professor Morley, thank you for your comments.